child's pose, we've done this in class. Go to the middle of your mat, take the knees out wide, big toes touching, and then you sit back on the heels. Now for those of you at home, if this sitting back on the heels is discomfort, it causes discomfort, an option here is to place a pillow underneath your buttocks or underneath the front of your feet as options. Now, I'm going to show you the modified and then I'll show you the full. So, a modified child's pose, you can place a block, something like a few inches thick, maybe 3 or 4, and then rest your forehead on the block. And then for the full version is having no block and resting your forehead on the mat. Spreading your hands out wide, pressing your palms into the mat. Your arms and your hands are actually shoulder distance apart because yoga is all about alignment. So we want to even start on the floor, lining up our body. So ensure that your hands are shoulder distance apart, spreading your fingers out wide so that you are starting to create an impression into the mat with your knuckles. So that you're already starting to create awareness into your hands, into the forearms, armpits, side body. And now we breathe. We just lie here, even though we're stretching our quads and our hamstrings a little, our side body, engaging our tummy. Focus on your breath. Slowing your breath in and slowing your breath out, which differentiates from your breath that you do on a just day-to-day basis, unless you really take a moment to notice your breath during the day. So our breath is predominantly shallow, in and out through our chest. So now we're taking this opportunity to breathe in through our nose, all the way down from our chest, our ribs, and into our belly. And then all the way back out again, through the nose. Slow and steady, elongated breaths. One more. Deep breath in. And on exhalation, I want you to think into your right rib cage. I want you to move your right rib cage over to the right. Now this is a very small movement. In fact, you may feel none at all, but it's just the intention is there. You're moving your right ribs to the right with a breath in and hold it there for your breath out. Then we're going to take the ribs back to center and think into your left rib cage and move your left rib cage to the left. Again, we try not to take this into the hips or the shoulders. We just want to isolate the ribs. So even just becoming aware, bringing our attention to the ribs. We may not feel a lot of movement, but we should feel a little. And then take a deep breath in, bring your ribs back to center. And now I want you to think into your back ribs. And I want you to bring your back ribs towards the ceiling. Again, it's not a huge movement, it's only a little movement, but it's isolating this area of your back and torso. Take a deep breath in, and on exhale, I want you to bring your ribs back to center. And now the front ribs. Think into your front ribs and bring your front ribs towards the floor. You'll feel this more in your back. Bringing your front ribs to the floor. A small movement. It will emphasize the stretch in the side body and the armpits. Deep breath in and bring it back to center. Now we're going to put that all together. A deep breath in, and on the exhale you're going to move your right ribs to the right. Then move your back ribs to the back, make a circle. Then your ribs move to the left, and then down to the floor. Bring it back to center. Isolate your ribs on the left side, bring your left ribs to the left, bring your back ribs to the back, to the ceiling, right ribs to the right, and then front ribs to the floor, back to center. Take a deep breath in here, and on the exhale, lift your gaze, lift your head, and rock your body up, rock your body up. Now you're still on knees and beyond your hips, we're going to rock the body back. So just a rocking motion, forward and back. Essentially what we're doing here is we're weight bearing onto the hands. So I want you to really notice the weight coming onto the backs of the knuckles and the fingers, not just the heel of your hand. One more time. Breathing in, coming up and forward, and breathing out, sitting back onto the heels. Rocking the body back up, not too much forward, bring the knees in, stacking your hips above your knees, and then slide your wrists so that they're underneath your shoulders, shoulder distance apart. Cat pie, dropping the belly button down, head up, tailbone up. And then round for cat, chin into the tailbone. So noticing your ribs, if you have any more freedom, having just warmed up and isolated your torso, now you're warming up and isolating your vertebrae. But this movement that you've created in your pelvis is also creating space in your ribs. So you should feel a little bit more freedom here. One more time, breathe it in and exhaling fully. Coming back to center, take the right leg out behind and tuck the toes under. Now I want you with the toes on the floor to stretch your heel towards the back of the mat. Long straight leg, hips are square so we're not lifting hips. And then rock, using the toes, rock your body forward, just the toes. And then bring the heel back and bring the heel forward. One more time. Bring the heel back, bring the heel forward. Good. And then place the right knee down. Take the left side. Left toes tucked under on the floor. Bring the heel to the back of your mat. And then push off with the toes, bringing the heel forward. So you're using your toes more than the heel. Rocking the weight back. Good. Rocking the weight forward. One more time. Rocking the weight back. And rocking the weight forward. Good. Bring the knee back down. Tuck the toes with both feet under. And then we're going to bring the sit bones back towards our heels. Stretching the toes. Keeping the hands on the floor, and as if you're pushing the mat over towards me. Push your mat towards me. Stretching your toes, and then bring the body weight forward, easing off the toes. One more time. Bringing the sit bones back, push the mat towards me, the front of the room, and then walk your hands up. Coming up onto your heels and your knees with the toes tucked under. We're going to do 3 circles with the shoulders. For 3, 2, continue to breathe. 1, then big circles with the arms, up to the ceiling and back. 3, 2, and 1. Reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling. Now make cactus arms so that your elbows are parallel to the floor. Make 2 fists, squeeze the fist tight, and then I want you to bring your elbows back, squeezing the shoulder blades, heart comes forward, and then lift your gaze, introducing a little micro back bend. Breathe in, hold it here, and on the exhale, bring your arms up to the ceiling, and then float your arms back to the floor. We're going to do a little adult tantrum and pad the feet out. Well done, good. So, slide your hands either side of your knees. Now we're going to stretch the front of the feet, okay? So we're going to draw the navel in a lot. If you want, actually, we can do it with the hands on the floor, but try it with the blocks first. So at home you need to have 2 big books or a few books either side of your thighs, your knees, and then pressing the front of the feet into the mat, lift your knees away from the floor. So the front of the feet is tucked under, so you're stretching the front of the feet. Squeeze the knees together, that's it. Point the toes. One more breath, breathe in, breathe out lower. Good. Really warming up these feet. So we're going to try it now without the blocks, just to see the difference. So what we're aiming to do here is bring the knees as close to our chest so the thighs are pressing up against our torso. So you are allowed to round the back and just keep squeezing the belly in. Okay, one more time. Take a deep breath in and on the exhale lift. Good. Belly in, that's it. Good. One more. Breathe in. Breathe out lower. That's fantastic, ladies. Coming up onto our knees. We do this here to free it out. So those ribs, that's it. And then step up with your right foot. Now grab your 2 blocks because we're going to need them. Have them either side. Well, actually, we'll just hold on to them now. Your right foot is going to be beyond your right knee. And then you're going to bring your hips forward, coming into our low lunge. Now, a good thing to do in this position is to keep the back toes tucked. The back toes tucked because then this will emphasize length in the front quad and into the hip flexor, okay? So we've warmed up our toes, we've warmed up our feet quite a lot. So have your toes tucked under. Your hips are forward, so now we're stretching the left side leg. And then with your hands on your blocks, you can keep them here if you need that support. Otherwise, we're taking our arms all the way up to the ceiling. Good. We're going to circle the arms just like we did when we were on our knees. We're going to circle. 3, 2, keep grinding into that right big toe. 1, reach them all the way up to the ceiling. Now make your cactus arms. 2 fists. Squeeze your elbows back. Heart forward, tailbone tuck. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, breathing in. Exhale, reach the arms to the ceiling. And then hands to the floor. Now we're going to lift the back knee away. Coming into a runner's lunge, that's it. So just have your hands shoulder distance apart. So for you, Maura, bring those blocks in. Yeah, that's it. Now, press into that right big toe. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Turn your blocks to the flat side. We're going to step back with that right foot into a plank. So lift the hips, step back into a plank. Toes are tucked, feet are hip distance apart. Shoulders square. Look down at this point between your 2 hands. Lift the knees, squeeze the thigh muscles. Deep, slow breath in. And slow breath out. Squeeze the bum cheeks, they're active as well. Ribs are in. Tailbone in. 1 more. Breathe in. And on the exhale, lower the knees. Well done. Turn the blocks to the high side. Bring them back with you, and we're going to step up with our left foot to the front of your mat, beyond your left knee, and then rock your body weight forward. That's it. Tuck the toes of the back foot under to emphasize length in the right quad this time. You can stay here and enjoy the stretch in the low lunge with the weight of the torso, helping the sit bones to go towards the floor. Otherwise, we're going to work the upper body, taking hands away from the blocks, reach them up to the ceiling. And we're going to circle for 3. Grind into the left big toe. 2, 1. Reach the arms up. Cactus arms. 2 fists. Bring the elbows back. Heart forward. Lift the gaze. Breathe in. Exhale. Reach up. Hands to the blocks. Lift the back knee away from the floor. High lunge or runner's lunge. Good. Beautiful, ladies. Okay, so all your 10 toes, for those of you at home, is pointed to the front of your mat. Your back heel is lifted, the front foot is pressed into your mat. Then we're going to turn the blocks to the flat side. Or if you don't need blocks, you can just bring your hands to the floor. Then we slide that left foot back, and to do that, you need to lift your hips, coming into a plank. Squeeze, spread the hands, wrist underneath the shoulders. Knees lifted, thighs squeezed, tailbone in, belly in, ribs in. Heart towards the ceiling, heart lifted towards the ceiling. Push, push, push. Hug those forearms in. 1 more breath, breathe in. And on, out breath, lower the knees, point the toes. Now we're going to work our triceps. So, first of all, we're going to rock our bodies back to our tabletop position. Tabletop position. So now, instead of coming forward with the hands and the pelvis, we are creating a table for our cup of coffee. But we're going to bend these elbows towards the back of our mats. Bend those elbows, that's it, Maura, good. Even more, Erin, bring the elbows in, good. And then push the floor away. So look, if you look at me for a wee second, we're just lowering, micro bend, and then pushing the floor away. Okay, 3 more of those. Bend, that's it, and up. Elbows in, 2, up, that's it, good. And 1. Beautiful, and up. Now, bring the hands forward, beyond our shoulders. Rock our hips forward. We're going to do the same action with the arms. We're going to bend and raise. Reach up, back up. Little yoga press up. Bend, push back up. Bend, push up. And last one, we're going to bend all the way to the floor with control. Draw the navel in, it's all in the core. Elbows in, hug it in, shoulders. Good, beautiful. Now slide those hands a little bit further back towards your ribs. Elbows in, hug them in, because we've been warming up our shoulders and our shoulder blades with our circular arms. Now I want you to activate the glutes. So squeeze the bum cheeks, tuck in the tailbone, squeeze the belly in, all active in your lower corset. Slide your nose and chin forward and lift up. Squeeze. Beautiful. And then lower. We're going to do it 2 more times. Take a deep breath in, activate your core set, all the action of the bum, the pelvis, the tailbone, the belly. Breathe out, slide the nose and chin forward, lift the shoulders away, lift the heart. And inhale, hold, exhale, lower. 1 more time. Inhale, all the action first. Exhale, lift. Good. Breathe in, exhale, lower. From here, we're going to take our arms out wide onto what we call spider fingers. And lift your elbows up towards the ceiling. Now I'm lifting my head because I want you to hear me rather than a muffle. But I want you to start with your forehead onto the mat. Elbows are lifted. So imagine like spider's legs. That's what you're creating with your arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathe in. Activate the core set, the tailbone, the belly. And on the exhale, slide the nose and chin forward. Push into the floor with your hands. Lift a wee bit further than you would in Cobra. And then isolate your shoulders. So we want to think into our left shoulder and lower our left shoulder towards the floor. Rotating your gaze, look to the right. Breathe in, hold it here. Exhale, come back to center. Lift, squeeze the bum cheeks. Inhale, hold it here. Exhale, lower the right shoulder and look to your left. Inhale, reach back up to center, squeeze the bum cheeks. Everything's active down below. And then slowly lower. Slide your hands either side of your chest or a wee bit lower. Activate your core set, the lower half of your body. Draw the navel in and then push the floor away. Push, push, push. There you go. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, plank, and then lift the sit bones. Coming into our first downward dog, so bend the knees, sit bones high. Think into your hands, your arms that we've been working. We've been isolating our ribs, engaging our belly. So bring your ribs in, belly in, sit bones up. That's it, Mara. Good. Now, from here, we want to pad the feet. So it takes an opportunity then to lengthen the backs of the legs. So really slowly, straighten one leg and bend the other. With the breath in, and then on the out breath, change. Breathe and hold it, and on the out breath, change. And do that 4 more times. Breathing in, hold, breathe out, change. Keep going. 1 more. Now we're going to come to a resting downward dog. Knees can be bent, feet hip distance apart, toes in line with your heels. And then you're going to pivot. I need to drop down the top because I'm eating it. You're going to pivot on your toes so that both of your feet toes move to your left and your heels turn to the right. Bend your knees deeply as if you're going to sit down onto your heels. Keep your shoulders square so that you can feel a nice big stretch on the left shoulder armpit to your left waist. Take a deep breath in here, squeeze in, and then bring it back to center, pivoting on the feet to center. Now same again the other side. We're going to turn the heels to the left, toes to the right. Bend the knees super deeply, bringing the sit bones down to your heels, but keep the shoulders square so you can feel it on the right ribs. Breathe in, and on the out breath back to center. Bend your knees, lift your gaze, look up. Draw the navel in and take a little or big step up to the front of your mat. So big on one side, and I'll show you little on the other. Little steps up with the other. Feet hip distance apart. Fold over your 2 legs. Now, if you can't reach the floor, place your hands on the blocks. High, middle, or low. And staying in forward fold, which is called Uttanasana, is a way to free up your lower back. So we're creating space in our lower back, but it also gets you to balance on your feet. So think into your feet, the 4 corners of your feet, your inner front of your foot, the inner ball of your foot, the outer ball of your foot, the inner heel of your foot, and the outer heel of your foot is your 4 corners. And we need the weight evenly distributed across your 4 corners. Press the big toe into the mat, take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, squeeze the bum cheeks, bend the knees, and roll up. 1 vertebra at a time. Relax the arms, coming all the way to Tadasana, mountain. Once we reach the top, We're going to reach the right arm to the ceiling. Right arm to the ceiling. We're going to take our right hip to the right. And we're going to take our left heel away from the floor. Right arm to the ceiling, right hip to the right, left heel off the floor. Then we're going to take a deep breath in here, relax the left arm, and on the exhale, side stretch over to the left. Energy out through the arm and the fingertips, no soft, weak arm. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, come back to center. Other side. Left arm to the ceiling. Left hip to the left. Right heel away from the floor. Energy out through the arm and the fingers. And side stretch over to the right. Deep breath. And exhale, come back to center. Reach both arms all the way up to extended mountain, looking up at your thumbs. And then on the exhale, slide your hands down your midline to your heart. Close your eyes and set a intention. A little positive affirmation, usually 3 words beginning with I am. And repeat it to yourself 3 times. On your exhalation, flutter your eyelids open. Surya Namaskar. In, nice and slow, ladies. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Bend your knees, folding over your legs with a long, straight spine. Inhale, half lift. Straighten the legs, straighten your spine. So the shoulder blades that we've been working comes back. Heart goes towards the floor. The 2 sit bones point in the opposite direction of the crown of the head. And if straighten the legs in this fold is too much, then bend the knees. But keep your spine nice and long. Take a deep breath in here. And on the exhale, fold. Placing your hands to the floor in front of your feet. Step back with your right leg to the back of your mat. Then step back with your left into a plank, which we've been working. And then drop the knees to the floor, but don't collapse the hips. Draw that navel in. Everything is active in the torso. Elbows, hug them in as you lower, bending those elbows all the way to the mat with control. Squeeze your lower corset. Tuck in your tailbone, then lift your heart. Breathe them in. And on the exhale, lower. Tuck the toes under. Push the floor away. And if that's too much, then do your little modifications. Bring your right knee in, then your left knee in. Then from here, tuck the toes under, lift the knees, come into downward dog. And we hold downward dog for 5 breaths. Scanning our body from our hands, spreading our fingers, and pressing into the mat with our knuckles and our thumb. Hugging the forearms in, rotating the biceps away, shoulders away from your ears, ribs in, belly in, and sit bones to the sky without arching our lower back. Working our heels towards the floor, even with the knees bent. Slowing the breath, resetting the breath, slow and steady. One more, deep breath in. And on exhalation, bend our knees deeply, lift our gaze, step up with your right to the front, or big or little step. Step up with your left, forward fold over your 2 bent knees. Half lift, straighten the spine, straighten the legs, hands to the shin, shoulders away from the ears, draw the belly in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the spine, come all the way up, squeeze the bum cheeks, extend it, mountain. Exhale to your heart. Second side. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back with your left. Step back with your right. Plank. Lower the knees, point the toes. A yoga press down. Bend the elbows, hug them in. Lower the chest. Beautiful, ladies. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the bum cheeks. Tuck in the tailbone, lift the heart. Use the hand. And then lower back down. Tuck the toes under. Engage your lower corset. Belly in. Push up. Good. Lift the knees. Lift the hips, downward dog. Now, normally when you move from modified plank into downward dog, you might need to adjust your feet. You might need to take a little step up with your feet. And then come to a peaceful downward dog, where you don't feel the need to move or fidget, because you want to reset your breath. You want to use downward dog as a somewhat resting pose, believe it or not. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the exhalation, bend your knees, lift your gaze. Big step up with your left or little, followed by the right. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Deepen in breath as you rise all the way up, extend the mountain. Exhale to your heart. We're going to do it one more time. You're doing fantastic. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, 1, 2. Plank. Drop your knees. Hug the arms in, lower. Torso to the mat. Engage your core and roll the shoulders right from the ears. Lift the heart, breathing in. Exhale, fold, and on the exhale you push up. Lift the knees, downward dog. All with one out breath. Then take your 5 in and out breaths. Counting 1, in. Slow exhale, out. In for 2. Slow exhale. In for 3. Exhale. Slow in for 4. Exhale. Slow in for 5. And on the exhale, bend your knees, lift your gaze. Now when you lift your gaze, you fix your gaze in a spot. You take a deep breath in and step up 1, 2. With the same in breath, you half lift. Shins, spine, beautiful. Exhale, fold. Now fill your lungs, breathe in, extended mountain. Exhale to your heart. Well done, amazing. Feet hip distance apart, and then bring your hands to your waist. We're going to come into our Utkatasana, seated squat. Bend your knees and have a look down at your toes. Make sure you can see your toes, because sometimes these knees want to go over the toes, but we want to bring the knees back. We want to sit low on our comfy chair, and once we're happy here, we bring our arms up to the ceiling. Then we're going to do our lovely circling of the arm sequence. We're going to circle back for 3, stay low and are seated. 2, and 1. Reach the arms up, cactus arms, lift your fists, bring the elbows back, hard forward, lift your gaze, breathe in, and on the exhale, release. Bring your hands to your heart. Take the weight over to your left foot. We're going to then release that right foot to the back of your mat. Stay low with your torso as you find your right foot to the mat. Grind into that front big toe. Really grind it in. Now that will engage this hamstring and this glute. And we want to get this stronger. So this is the work we have to do. So lift that back knee. Don't have it soft. Lift that back knee. Squeeze the thigh muscle on the right thigh. And now lift the torso. But keep that engagement in the legs. Don't let that engagement go. We're going to do our sequence with our arms in crescent pose. Reach the arms up. Keep the ribs in and the belly in. Breathe in. Circle for 3. Breathe out. Breathe in. 2. Breathe out. 1. Reach it up. Breathe in. And on the out breath, cactus. 2 fists. Bring the elbows back. Back leg is straight. Lift your gaze. Little back bend. Reach up on the in breath. Now we're moving from crescent to warrior 2. The front leg and foot does not move. The rotation happens in the right shoulder, right hip, right heel. So we're moving from here. The right side moves to the right. Left foot and knee doesn't move. And then rotate your nose to the left. Looking over your left shoulder. Sorry, not over the shoulder, but in that direction. Looking at your left middle finger. Warrior 2. Beautiful. Now, remember the corset that we worked on the floor? That same engagement happens when we come to standing. So tuck in your tailbone, belly in, and bring your shoulders so they're stacked above your hips. The rotation is happening in the right hip and the right leg, rotating back. The left knee stays strong over the left ankle, so make sure you keep looking down, that it's not going in. Keep opening up, so you have to use these thigh muscles, these quads, on both legs. Relax the shoulders, ribs in and the belly in. 1 more breath. From here, we're going into Trikonasana. So start to straighten your front leg. We're going to bring our free ribs, our left ribs that we've worked on to the left, bringing them to the front of the room. And then rotate round and down over that left leg. Left hand rests against the shin, and the right hand reaches to the ceiling. Now, if it's too much with the hand to the ceiling, you can bring your hand to your waist. Now, I like to encourage that right shoulder to go back. So a good way to encourage that shoulder to go back is to bring that right arm behind and tuck your fingers into your left hip. So it's working that rotation even more. Beautiful. The bottom hand is just in a position against the leg, but the action is happening in the torso. So that right ribs is rotating back, the left ribs is rotating under. The feet are pressed strongly into the mat and both legs are straight. Straight. One more breath. Our gaze is up to the ceiling or down at our left big toe. From here, breathe in, and on the out breath, I want you to turn your face and look at the floor. Look at the floor. Good. Now, just place the block in front of you. For those of you at home, this is going to be challenging. So you need something of height in front of your foot. Even a sofa or a chair might be useful. So look down and place your hand on top of the block. Your left hand on top of the block in front of your left foot. You're going to bend your left knee, and then because you're going to come forward, you're going to take the block with you. Slide your right foot up, and then lift your right foot up to the ceiling in that direction. Your right hand can stay on your waist, or bring it up. Now if you fall, it's quite alright. It's part of the ride. Enjoy the ride. So, we want the same hip opener that we did in Warrior 2, it's a challenging pose, and Trikonasana. So we want to rotate the right hip to the right ribs to the right, and then lift your right hand to the ceiling, flexing your top foot to keep the top leg active. This is a challenging pose, but it still is beginners. Ardha Chandrasana. Half moon. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the out breath, slowly lower the right foot to the floor. Back to our Warrior 2. We're going to lift the back heel away from the floor, dropping the right hand to swoop back to our crescent. Reach the hands up, and then a big step up. Nothing like a big challenge to end our beginners yoga practice. So guys, 100% it is not an easy pose, but I just thought I would throw it in there because not only is it a strengthening pose, but it's a balance pose. So we're doing the two in the mix, yeah? We've done other balance poses before, doing all this kind of stuff, but this is a little bit more, come on, let's see what we can do, yeah?
It's the fact that you're down.
It is the fact that you're down, yes. Now, to help with that, there's a few things that comes into the equation. One is spotting, okay, so try not to look at the spider because the spider is moving, okay? So same with anything. You want to fix your gaze on something that doesn't move, okay? So when you're getting yourself into the position, my eyes are not going to move from that spot. Now my foot is wobbling, okay? So then I think, grind into that big toe. Draw my navel in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. The legs are active, squeeze. Top foot is flexed. My glute is on fire, holding this leg up. My shoulders are rotating, squeezing. My ribs, my belly, my corset is working hard. Okay? So, it is not an easy pose. So much is happening, but it's so good. It's so good to strengthen the body. Okay, we're going to give it a whirl on the other side. Plus, it's at the end of the sequence, so then you're already starting to get tired, and then you go, okay? But sure, it's all about fun. Okay, let's try the other side. We're back to our squat. Knees bent, look at our toes. Once we're happy we can see your toes, lift your gaze, lift your arms. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, circle for 3, 2, 1. Reach it up, cactus arms, 2 fists. Bring the elbows back, squeeze the heart forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the gaze, breathe in, and on the exhale, release the gaze, reach the arms up. Bring your hands back to your heart, take the weight to the right foot, and already my right glute is starting to work. Then taking that left foot back, place it gently, like a slide onto your mat. You're staying forward in your torso, so you're loading into that right thigh to remind that right big toe to engage, to work, to hold this position. Lift the back knee, the left knee is engaged, left thigh is squeezing. Then lift your torso. This should help with balance. Now, if balance is still not your friend, heel toe the front foot back so you can widen your stance. We've talked about this before, so you have that as your option as well. Also, you can narrow your stance. You don't have to go as wide. When you go wide, it means you're working your legs super strong. From here, reach the arms up, crescent, belly in, ribs in, tailbone tucked. 3, rotate. 2, rotate. 1, think into that right big toe, reach it up. Cactus arms, squeeze the fists, squeeze the shoulder blades. Heart forward, lift your gaze, breathe in. Exhale, release. We're going to rotate to warrior 2, left side. Left shoulder, left hip, left heel. Down, right knee doesn't move, right foot doesn't move. Heel is down. Now the heel is going to the back of your mat. Your toes are 45 degrees rotated. Then you reach the arms up, shoulder height, and look at your right little fingernail. Your drishti, your focus. Because yoga, there's so much happening in our body, it's completely natural for you to lose focus because maybe there's elements of your body that are weak and you're starting to think about your body shaking, you're not sure what you're doing, am I doing it right, you're questioning. So what we're trying to do in yoga is silence that brain, silence that noise, and have these drishti points, these focus, so then you can just focus on your breath and let the teacher guide you through all the different positions you're meant to hold. Good, excellent. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the exhale, straighten your front leg. We're holding this position that we've got into for warrior 2. Now we're moving into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So the right hand reaches. We don't come forward with that left hip. The left hip stays back. The left shoulder stays back. The right ribs come forward, the right arm. And then we rotate round and down over the right leg. Both legs are straight. Right arm just rests against the shin. And the left hand goes up to the ceiling, option 1. Option 2 is to take your hand to your waist. Option 3 is to rotate the left arm around your lower back and tuck your fingers into your upper thigh. And this helps create that rotation, that correct position. That's beautiful, Erin. Lovely. Good. Really good, Maura. Good. Try to straighten that front knee if you can. If it's too much, narrow your stance. Keep pulling the right hip into the hip socket. Bring in your right ribs forward, left ribs back. That is fantastic. One more breath. Breathe in. And on out breath, all you're doing is rotating your gaze to fix it on the block. Then start to bend into your right knee. Release your left hand to your waist. Place your right hand on the block. And then start to slowly slide the left foot up. Now, if you need to keep that right supporting leg bent, keep it bent. If it means you're only taking your left foot away from the floor a few inches, then that's it. That's all you have to do. You're holding that balance. Otherwise, we're going to straighten that right leg, stack your left hip above your right hip. Now, fix your gaze, draw the navel in, squeeze both bum cheeks, and reach your left arm to the ceiling. Shoulders away from the ears. Flex your top foot. Flex, flex, flex. One more breath. Breathe in. Breathe out slowly. Release that left foot to the floor. Left foot to the floor. You were doing it so amazingly. Just until you had to lower your foot to the floor. Did it feel different?
It felt better that time.
Felt better, yeah? So those little tweaks can make a world of difference, yeah? How did it feel on that side, Maura?
Yeah, better.
Better, okay.
Yeah,
So,
better.
remember, why the pose is to lift the leg, right? If you're a little daunted at that aspect, you can keep the tippy toes of the back foot on the floor and just engaging the legs the way you're supposed to until you can maybe take it an inch off the floor. Do you know what I mean? So it's not all about lifting the leg, the back leg high. Obviously that's the pose. But if you're not there yet, you can just test your balance, test your body bit by bit. And slowly but surely, the body knows what it's expected to do. Okay? Just from one side to the other, thinking about those wee tweaks, you're able to hold it. Yeah? So the only thing was then, knowing that you had to then put your foot down was like, ah! Okay? So the focus went. Yeah? Into the brain went, ah! What am I doing? Yeah? So if you had just said, I'm putting my foot on the cloud. There you go. And then lift. Okay? So just changing the messages we're sending our brain has the change in the body. Yeah? So if you keep on saying to yourself, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, guess what? You can't do it. You say, I can do that. Now, in saying that, when it comes to putting your leg behind your head, and I see other people doing that, and they say, I could do that, I could do it. Maybe not this year. Maybe 2045. But yeah, for those type of poses where we're not asking our bodies to twist into a pretzel, 100% you can do it. It's just the mindset that we tell ourselves. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. So we were here, and then we moved into Warrior 2. So just to finish off the set, into Warrior 2. Then we're going to swoop that left arm down, swoop it down, and then lift the back heel off the floor. So back to crescent. Now we're going to do that again just for that practice, right? So check out your right foot. Check out your right foot. It's not moving. It's going nowhere. So you've moved from Warrior 2. The left hand swoops down. The left heel lifts. And you move your left shoulder, left hip forward into crescent. Bring your hands to your heart. Lean forward. And then you have the support of that right leg to lift your back foot up. Okay? So again, it's just knowing your body, knowing placements, so that it's not. Okay? So a simple Warrior 2, swoop, hands, step up. Alright? We're going to do a little vignette before we move into the next. Is your mat no good? Is
No, I'm just on that dancing thing. I don't like it.
Okay, no worries.
Sounds good.
Breathe in, float the arms up, extend it, mountain. Exhale, we're going to swan dive, folding from our hips. Bend our knees so that our hands can reach the floor. Breathe in, half lift, straighten the spine, straighten the legs. This is called a vinyasa. Bring in your hands to the floor, step up with your right, step back with your left. Engage your belly, drop the knees, point the feet. Yoga press down, lower the torso to the mat. Squeeze your belly, engage your corset, lift your heart. Inhale. And on the exhale, lower, tuck the toes under, push the floor away, lift the knees, lift the hips, downward dog. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, bend your knees, lift your gaze, a big step up with your left, big step up with your right. Same in breath, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to your heart. A little tree pose for Kasana. We're going to take our hands to our waist. Take the weight to your left foot and bring your right heel away from the floor. Rotate your knee to the right and place your foot on your ankle or your calf. Or reach down, grab your foot and place it to your inner thigh. Press your thigh to your foot and your foot to your thigh. And either keep your hands on your waist or bring it into your heart, into prayer, Anjali Mudra. You can stay here, fixing your gaze on a spot, focus on your breath, or add your arms. Inhale, reaching your arms to the ceiling. Exhale, open to receive. Inhale, gather all the wisdom back to your palm of your hands, and then bring that wisdom back to your heart. Take a deep breath in, and exhale, release. Other side. Take the weight to the right foot. Turn your left knee to the left foot, sole of the foot on the ankle, the calf or reach down. Take the hold of the shin and place your foot on your inner thigh. If you're keeping it here, press the side of the foot to the thigh. And then once again with the hands, either keep it in Anjali Mudra or reach up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, fix your gaze. Exhale to your heart. Inhale, hold. And exhale, release. Well done. Inhale, vinyasa to the floor. Exhale, swan dive. Bend your knees. Inhale, half lift, hands to shin, straight spine, straight legs. Exhale, fold, hands to the mat, step back, 1, 2, plank. Drop your knees to the floor. Yoga press down, hug those forearms, hug those elbows, lower, engage the belly, roll the shoulders back. Squeeze the bum cheeks, lift the heart. Exhale, fold. Tuck the toes under, push up. And then because we're moving into the seated, we're going to cross our feet behind. And then walk the hands up. And then bring the legs through. Yeah, there you go, well done. We're going to grab a whole other soft foam block. No, actually we're not. We're going to do this one first before we do the next one. We're going to do boat pose, Navasana. So scoot your bum just to the middle of your mat. And then bring your knees to the ceiling, hip distance apart. Take your hands underneath the crease of your knees. And then bring your heart forward. Now we've been working on this from the start of the class. So the shoulder blades go back, heart is forward, shoulders away from the ears, and we lean back. Take the feet away from the floor and bring your knees into your chest. Good, so the hands are squeezing the knees in. Then we're going to bring the ankles up to in line with our knees. Squeeze the belly in and then release our hands. Boat. Fix your gaze on a spot or your 2 big toes. Keep bringing the knees in towards you. Keep breathing. 2 more. Breathe in. Squeeze the belly in. 1 more. Breathe in. And on exhale, slowly lower the feet to the floor. Well done. Scoot your bum, or no, we're not. We're going to grab the foam block now. And we're going to sit on the edge of the foam block. We're going to stretch out the spine that we've just engaged. Straighten out our legs in front. Bring the feet and the legs together. Now we're going to circle the arms like we've been doing. So we're going to do a big circle for 3, 2, and 1. Reach up to the ceiling, cactus arms, 2 fists. Bring the elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the heart, lift your gaze. Breathe in, squeeze the feet together, legs together, feet are flexed. Exhale, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Breathe in, hold it here. And on the exhale, fold. Now if your hands don't reach the toes, you can bring them to your shins or either side of your legs. Breathe in, lift the heart, look up. And on the exhale, fold. Now if you have reached your toes, you pull on the feet, pull on the toes to bring your heart forward. If you're not reaching the toes, just place your hands either side of your legs and bring your heart forward. Shoulders away from the ears, try not to hug those in. You want to see your beautiful necks. And if you find you're trying to get all the way towards the legs, come back and bring your heart forward. Because it's better to have that nice elongation of the spine rather than hiding your heart after doing all that work to open your heart. So hiding your heart and hugging those shoulders round is rounding your back again. And we want this elongation that we've been working on. Good. Holding it here. Don't even worry about the toes. Close your eyes because we're not balancing, we're not holding or moving around the floor. Slowing the breath down. So these are seated postures. So now that we come to a seated, it's all about stretching our muscles, lengthening our muscles. So we need our breath to start to release that tension. We were holding in our muscles in our standing postures and we're creating tension to grip and hold. And now we want to lengthen. So now we need the oxygen to move more freely around, the blood to flow more freely around the body. 1 more breath. Breathe in. And on the exhale, slowly come up to a seated position. We're going to come off our foam blocks and then place them to one side. Now, grab up a cork block. For those of you at home, if you don't have a cork block, not this next pose, but the pose after, you probably won't be able to do it unless you have one of these. And you'll understand when I come to it. So if you don't have one of these at home, then just don't do it, okay? So we're going into bridge pose. So we're going to scoot our bum forward. Take our hands underneath our knees and then lower onto the mat. So I'm going to do the bridge pose and then I'll come back down to show you the bridge supported pose. For those of you at home, when you are in bridge and we move into the next pose, please come out of bridge to observe the demonstration rather than just going into it and then trying to look at the screen, so that I don't want you to damage your neck or hurt your neck, okay, because it can easily be done in bridge pose. Just a little bit of explanation when you're home. So in this position, our knees are to the ceiling, hip distance apart, and we're bringing our heels towards our sit bones, as close to the body as your heels can go. The soles of the feet are flat on your mat, your arms are by your side, the shoulders are relaxed, and then we tuck the tailbone under. That action has created the back to be completely flat on the mat, starting to engage your glutes, so they're just not hanging out here. They're not soft, so you're engaging them. Then you place your feet into the mat to peel the sit bones away, lifting your pelvis away, and then lifting your hips all the way up towards the ceiling. The back of the neck should be long. You should feel the back of your head pressed into the mat. Your shoulders somewhat supported, the position. But the most engagement is your belly and your glutes. You can also feel it in your hamstrings as you lift, lift, lift. Breathing in, you lift, and on the exhale, you hold. Breathe in, lift. Exhale, hold. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hold that lift. 1 more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, hold. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now we're going to slowly come down from our upper back, lowering 1 vertebra at a time, all the way down onto the mat. Once you arrive on the mat, I want you just to have a peek up at me to watch this demonstration of a supported bridge. For those of you at home, if you want to pause and watch, but don't lie and twist your neck, because that's where you can damage your neck. So this is a supported bridge. I love it. It feels really good, but sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to get into it. So we're going exactly the same way into bridge. We bring our heels towards our sit bones, bring our pelvis up to the ceiling. Now we come onto the balls of your feet and lift even higher now that we've elevated our heels away from the floor. We're bringing our feet as close to our body as we can go. The back of the neck is long, the head never moves in this position. This is where you can really damage your neck. Then with the block on the high side, you place it underneath your tailbone. If you find that the height of the block is too high, you can always bring it to the mid side, but you'll not feel as much of the release as you would on the high side. So back to the high side, sorry my neck is moving into it. Back to the high side, the block just goes to the tailbone and the sacrum. So just above the tailbone. And then let go of the block and lower the feet onto the mat. You should feel like you can relax your legs, you're not engaging like you were in bridge. And your shoulders are nice and soft. In fact, you're rolling them in and your heart is lifted. You keep your nose pointed to the ceiling. You do not rotate your neck. And you just hang it here for 5 or 6 breaths. Okay, so I'm going to give the 2 that are here a little assist, because it can be a little bit disconcerting when you're not used to it. Okay, so coming into our bridge. Bridge, bridge, bridge. That's it. Lift, 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 and then come onto the balls of your feet. So lifting your heels away. Now, take a hold of your block. You have to do this yourself, so that I'll just give you an assist to make sure. So just turn your block around this way, that way. So the block should be, if you can, if not, then just place it to the mid height. You're not getting it all the way up. It should be placed more. How are you feeling? So I'm just having a look at Kelly. Or sorry, Erin. Erin, how does that feel? And then lower your heels to the floor. Now don't move your neck. Nose pointed up. You still talk like that? Yes, good. And your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Okay? So you should feel like it's a stretch for your quads and your hip flexors. And you're not actually having to engage your glutes. No. Yeah, so this is a supported bridge. How does that feel more? Can you lower your heels to the floor?
Stretch.
Yeah. So this is particularly good for those who walk a lot and use their hip flexors.
it's like wearing the hip pin.
Yeah, so we can place that underneath. Maybe on the both. Hold on, move the foot over a wee bit. There you go. How does that feel?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good. Now we hold this for at least up to 10 breaths because it's a release. Releasing tension from our hips. Us ladies hold a lot of tension in this area. So it's a nice release for the hips and the thighs and the buttocks. So maybe you've done about 5. Slow and steady. Just going to turn the next. So this is you don't have to do this if you're doing it at home. If you don't have the cork block, then it's probably best you don't play around with bottles of Coke or library books and just wait to do it in class if you're coming again. And then as an option, just lie on your back, open your knees away from one another, soles of the feet together, which is called Supta Baddha Konasana, which we've done before. So the soles of the feet are together, the knees are open, and you rest your hand on your belly and your hand on your heart. And then ladies, to come out of this, we lift our heels away from the floor, walking the heels in, and then you take a hold of the block with your hand, and then you move it to one side. We don't collapse down, we lower the soles of the feet back, or the heels back down, and then same in bridge, you lower one vertebrae at a time all the way back down. Once you reach the floor, take your knees into your chest. Take your knees one at a time into your chest, holding on to the tops of your knees or your shins. The back of the neck should be long, and rock your body from side to side. Good. Come to center, reach your right arm up and over, roll over to your right side, and then push the floor away, open blocks in your way, and then grab your jumpers and get them out of your way. If you want to wrap yourself up so that you are coming into Shavasana, you don't feel cold. Now, I've just placed a wee foam block underneath on top of your mat, the top of your mat. If you wish to rest your head on the block, it's just similar to a cushion, if it's comfortable, just as an option. And then coming into Shavasana, so those of you at home, you can have your pillows and your blankets ready to one side. Get cozy. Arms away from your body. Coming back to your breath and just checking into how you feel. Checking into all the sensations. And knowing now that you are taking about 7 minutes just to let go and release. Giving your body permission to relax. Bringing your awareness to your feet. Relax your toes and your feet, ankles, shins and calves, the front of your knees, the back of your knees, your quads and your hamstrings, your pelvis and your buttocks, lower belly, belly button, your front and side ribs. Relax your heart, relax your chest. Your heart is softly beating in your chest when you breathe in and breathe out. Relax your collarbones and your shoulders, armpits, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists. Relax your hands and your fingers. Relax your throat and your neck, your jaw and your chin. Relax your mouth and clench your teeth. Remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your cheeks, your nose, your ears, eyelids and eyes, eyebrows, eyebrow center, forehead, sides of your head, top of your head, the back of your head, the back of your neck, your upper back, shoulder blades, middle of your back and your lower back, the whole of your front body, the whole of your back body, the whole body relaxed. I am breathing in, out. explore the depths of yourself. We are proprietors of this land, but few people even know the territory. You contain mountains, multitudes. Your heart is a torrential avalanche from Everest. Your senses are an Amazonian rainforest of rich, lush experience. Each finger a river delta, reaching out into this ocean of reality. Do not be afraid, intrepid explorer. Taste the adventure that calls to you. Explore the depths of yourself. Love the unlovable parts. See truth in beauty, and beauty in truth. Enter the dense forest of your own inner space to discover the gateway back home. Of the raindrops outside or birds singing. And then bring your awareness back to your own sounds, the sound of your breath and the sound of your heartbeat. Taking your awareness into your hands and into your feet. Start to waken up your body, wiggling your fingers. Wiggling your toes, and then relax your hands and relax your feet. Bringing your awareness back to your belly, engage your tummy a little as you slide your feet one at a time up towards your sit bones, knees to the ceiling. Taking a moment here to allow your spine to adjust. And when you're ready, take your knees one at a time in towards your chest. Lengthen your spine, and then rock your body from side to side. Back to center, and reach your right arm up and over your head, rolling over onto your right side, with your left hand on the floor in front of your heart. Let's rest here for a few breaths. Try to keep your eyes closed. From here, push into the floor with your hand. Come all the way up to seated position. Legs can be straight or crossed. Sitting up tall with the heart is lifted. Bring your hands together in prayer and then rotate your feet. Place your hands over your eyes and then open your eyes behind your palms. Squeeze them shut open. Squeeze them shut open. Look up, look down, look to the right, to the left. Rotate clockwise, anti-clockwise. And then close them again before you take your palms to your heart in prayer. Take a moment now to repeat your sankalpa, your positive affirmation. deep breath in, lengthen your spine even more. And on the exhale, bow your chin into your chest. Turn the corners of your mouth up to your eyes.